Hi, Pastor Mark Conforti here with another Cheerwine Chat. I grabbed a Cheerwine. How about you grab one too? This is the first Cheerwine Chat for the year 2022, and I've got lots to share, so let's jump right into it with a reflection from my pastor's heart to yours. January was a difficult month with the COVID numbers increasing, more people, maybe even yourselves, some of your loved ones, being directly impacted by the COVID-19 variant. The weather has affected us 3 weekends in a row, challenging what we can do. I'm hearing fewer people make comments like, why can't things be the way they used to be? And I'm hearing more people ask questions like, why don't we try this? Or can we experiment with this kind of a ministry idea? I'm hearing more people being eager and excited about the future of our church. I'm excited too. I think that we have a bright future ahead, and I'm grateful to be on the journey with you. I wish so badly that I could get around to visit more people in their homes one-on-one. Logistics, all the challenges we mentioned before, keep that from happening as readily as I would like, and perhaps as much as you would like. But just please always know, if you would like for me to come visit and have a time to fellowship and pray together, I would love to have that time with you. Just call me, email me, text me, get a hold of me, and let's schedule that really soon. Emotionally healthy spirituality. That's our discipleship emphasis for February and March. Coming up in the middle of the month, beginning the week of February the 14th, there will be 3 opportunities for you to participate in a discussion group based around the book, Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. Mondays at 1:30 p.m. in person, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. in person, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Zoom. You are invited to participate. Pick up the book, start reading. It'll take 8 weeks for us to be on this path together. I believe that the content of the emotionally healthy spirituality approach is extraordinarily helpful because it invites us to do a deep dive into understanding who we are as people, our thoughts, our emotions, our stories, how it all comes together with who we are. And the classical spiritual disciplines give us a framework for understanding it more faithfully. I've already heard incredibly positive comments from people who started reading the book, that they're seeing the value in this, and I believe that you would see the value in it as well. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Pick up a copy of the book, start reading, and let's work together on becoming more emotionally healthy disciples. Bishop Ken Carter has identified 4 areas of focus for his leadership in the Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Church. Let me mention these to you now along with a few reflections. The first one is an emphasis on the local church, because the local church is where disciples are made. That's where people flourish in their lives, how we learn to live in community with each other, how we learn to serve, how we learn to give, how we bear witness to the love of God in this world. And that's what we're all about at First United Methodist Church of Salisbury. We're all about discipleship. The second area of focus is making our way through the COVID-19 pandemic. The past 2 years have challenged us in an incredible way, and we have learned to be resourceful, creative, adaptive like never before. We have come such a long way. However, we're not quite done yet. There's still so much more to figure out, and we need to do it together as a people of faith. The third point of emphasis, the church's work in anti-racism. Back several years ago when our church held a leadership summit, this was identified as part of the work of First United Methodist Church of Salisbury. Quite frankly, we haven't done very well with this. We have made very little progress, if any. there's still so much more for us to do in this area. It requires us to be humble of heart, ready to learn, ready to give and to serve, perhaps like never before. Because this is another pandemic that has plagued our country pretty much from the very beginning. And so it's part of the work of the church to work against racism so that all people can come to experience the fullness of life together here. We need that for Salisbury, don't we? That became especially evident just recently when at the Dixonville Cemetery, 16 tombstones were knocked over, many of them broken. I spoke with Dee Dee Wright. She's a friend of mine here in town and an activist. She's not sure if that was the work of vandalism or just a bunch of kids thinking that they're being funny. Not sure. We don't know. This is Black History Month, though, which means it's part of the history for all Americans. And the fact that this happened at the Dixonville Cemetery, a place of focus and emphasis in our community for Black history, it's very saddening, and it has hurt all of us. If you would like to contribute toward that project so that it can be a place of learning and growth for our whole community, I encourage you to give generously to the Dixonville Cemetery Fund. The fourth point of emphasis for Bishop Carter and for us, the continuing United Methodist Church. General Conference was delayed. It is supposed to meet later in the year 2022, but there's a chance that might be delayed as well. The people who gather to make decisions about General Conference, the commission that works on it, they're going to meet later in February and make a decision. There are so many logistical challenges that go into making General Conference happen because we are an international church covering many time zones where United Methodism is expressed in many different languages and different cultures. It's hard enough to get all of these people gathered from around the world physically in one spot and for General Conference to happen. It's really not feasible to do it via Zoom or some other social networking platform because of internet capability, time zones, language barriers. And of course, COVID has made it difficult for people to travel. So we'll figure out, hopefully very soon, if General Conference will happen later in the year 2022. But for now, I want us to continue as faithful people at First United Methodist Church. I want us to continue to celebrate our Wesleyan heritage, to understand more deeply what it means to emphasize God's grace in our life, and how our evangelical faith compels us to share that love with everybody through our words, our conversations, our kindness, our gestures, because this is who we are called to be in the continuing United Methodist Church. What's coming up over the next few Sundays in February? I'm so glad you asked. On February the 6th, Scout Sunday, when we celebrate the impact of scouting ministries on boys and girls and their families. February the 13th, we're going to welcome a really special guest preacher, a young man named Tory Haynes. I met Tory recently at a United Methodist continuing education event, and I was really impressed with him. He is a student at Hood Theological Seminary. He is dynamic, gifted, and called to serve as a preacher, and I think you're going to really enjoy hearing him proclaim God's Word on Sunday, February the 13th. On February the 20th, we're going to welcome Elizabeth Schulman. She is the author of the book Finding Sanctuary. She will be offering a presentation on Sunday the 20th at 2 o'clock in the sanctuary, open to everybody in the community. And we look to welcome people because so many people are needing to care for their loved ones, especially people suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, other illnesses. And our visioning group here at the church has identified caring for caregivers as a significant ministry that needs our attention. So be sure to circle all of these dates coming up in February. Well, I'm running out of Cheerwine. It's time for me to go. But before I do, look for another video from me next week. Not another Cheerwine Chat video, but my interview with Dianne Derby. Dianne is a news anchor in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and she's an author. Her book is coming out that is really an inspiring story. I think it'll touch your heart, and I'm encouraging you to pick it up if you're interested. Dianne is an old friend from high school, and I helped her with her calculus homework a couple times, so I felt like I could ask her to do this favor, to talk with me so that I can share with you her inspiring story. So look for that next week. May God continue to bless you and keep you with the grace of Jesus Christ deep in your heart. See you next time.